there, I'm Sheryl Goodwin Magiera, your go-to guide for life's messy and magical moments. As a farm girl turned single mom, I often wondered what life would look like after my kids were grown. Turns out, it was all about rediscovering and loving myself first. On this podcast, we'll dive into topics that touch the soul, like love, loss, triumphs, and setbacks. So grab your favorite drink and buckle up. Welcome to the Imperfectly Charming Podcast. Welcome, dear listeners, to a sanctuary for self-discovery and empowerment. I'm Sheryl, and today's episode is titled, What Tale Are You Telling? We all have an inner critic, that persistent voice whispering doubts and fears, criticizing our every move. It's the master of negative chatter, convincing us we're less than we truly are. But what happens when we decide not to just hear, but listen and believe those internal monologues? Today, we're diving deep into the heart of our inner narratives, exploring the power of stories we tell ourselves and the impact they have on our lives. If you found yourself ensnared by your inner critic, hanging on its every word, this episode is for you. We'll explore strategies to confront these tales of self-doubt, how to rewrite the scripts dictated by our egos, and how to lead with our hearts. It's about recognizing the lies, flipping the script, and embracing the truth of our potential. Join me as we embark on a journey to silence the critic within and amplify the voice of our true selves. Here we go with What Tale Are You Telling? How has your inner critic been doing lately? Our inner critic is that little nasty voice we hear in our head, the one that knows just how to criticize, cut us down, and tell us we're less than. Frankly, the list could go on with all the chaos and damage those messages can do. Or are you living your best life, ignoring any internal chatter going on? If so, that is a complete victory, and celebrate those wins. However, if you're turned inward and hanging on every word your ego's been saying, stay tuned. For whatever reason, we tend to listen to our ego over our heart. And if we pay attention long enough, we start to believe the lies. Sometimes we think the stories are there to protect us from failure or embarrassment, but mostly they keep us from moving forward in our life. The good news is we get to rewrite the stories we keep telling. We must summon the courage to stand up to our inner critic, to lead and believe with our heart. Pick one lie your inner critic has been telling you over and over. Then acknowledge the tale. We may not realize we are telling the story because it has been part of our fabric for so long. Gaining awareness is a great first step. If you hear yourself saying something like, I can't do that, or I don't have enough experience, you can bet your nasty inner critic is speaking. What are the details of the story? List as many as possible. Are there parts of the story really true? And how can your tale be flipped? You get to create the story from truth and not from fear. How can you turn the story into a new chapter? What can you do differently this time? Maybe the thing you don't think you can do is what you focus on. How could you help yourself learn? Or who could you ask to help? Give yourself credit for all the knowledge you do have. Each time you recognize your ego has taken over the story, it gives you the chance to flip the situation. Acknowledging the untruth is powerful, and you get the opportunity to live a new story. To change the story, acknowledge the story, give yourself credit and praise for catching the story, flip the script on the story, and live the new story. What tale are you telling? It might help to journal all the untruths being told. Some could stem from childhood and things you were told or expected to say, do, or feel. Ask yourself if any of these lies serve you today, or are any of them still relevant? Then build on what you know to be true and not the falsehoods being supplied by the ego. It's time to wave the victory flag. As we bring What Tale Are You Telling to a close, I hope you're feeling inspired to confront and rewrite the narratives that your inner critic has been authoring in your life. It's a profound journey, one that begins with acknowledging the stories we've been telling ourselves, recognizing their falsehoods, and daring to write new chapters based on truth, strength, and self-belief. Remember, every time you catch yourself listening to that critical voice, you're presented with a powerful opportunity to flip the script. Give yourself credit for the awareness, for every tale of doubt you dismantle, and for every new story of empowerment you begin to write. It's about living a life that resonates with the truth of who you are, not the fears of what you're not. Thank you for joining me on this transformative journey. Let's continue to question the tales we tell ourselves, to challenge the narratives of the not enoughness, and to celebrate the victories no matter how small. Until next time, keep rewriting your story, living your truth, and waving your victory flag high. If you love this episode, you won't want to miss my free workbook, 7 Simple Ways to Elevate Your Life. Head over to the imperfectlycharming.com website to snag your copy. And hey, if this podcast resonated with you, do me a favor, like, share, and hit that subscribe button. And until we meet again, shine on, friends.